Hello and welcome. My name is Heather Halcyon, and I am a faculty scheduling administrator at UAGC. I will be the host of this session, Ed Talks at TLC presents Flourishing in Open Access Higher Education, a Faculty Perspective. By joining us today, you acknowledge that this session is being recorded and will be shared with TLC-related materials. Microphones will be muted for this presentation, but we encourage you to post questions and comments in the chat. Also, we have enabled live transcription. If you would like to use it, click the Show Captions button at the bottom of your Zoom window. Now, I'm pleased to turn this session over to the Ed Talks team.
Thanks, Heather. Welcome. My name is Dr. Jessie Upshaw, and thank you for joining us at the UAGC Teaching and Learning Conference, or TLC. We're happy that you chose to join us today as the UAGC Department of Education and Liberal Arts proudly presents to you Ed Talks at TLC. Welcome everyone to our 6th annual collaborative Ed Talk at TLC session. And whether this is your first or 50th Ed Talk, in my opinion, you're in for a session of inspiration, well-being, and collaboration. And speaking of collaboration, I'm honored to be joined today by two faculty and members of the Professional Development Committee of the Department of Education and Liberal Arts from the University of Arizona Global Campus, pictured here, Dr. Zashante Aller and Dr. Jackie Kiger. We'll be your hosts for this very special Ed Talk. Now, before we introduce to you the real stars of today's show, allow me to introduce Ed Talks. For those of you that are new to Ed Talks, this is not your traditional professional development webinar or conference presentation. Established in 2015, Ed Talks are fashioned after TED Talks, the ever popular way of sharing concepts through personal storytelling using a short monologue format. We do this because we want to inspire and hear your stories, and we can best do that by sharing our stories. Our goal is not to teach you anything new, as you are already an expert in your role. Our goal is to perhaps motivate you to try something new in your approach to student success, whether you're a faculty member, student support team member, administrator, or a student yourself. At the end of our time today, we will open up the floor for Q&A and sharing out, and we look forward to hearing your story of what you're doing or will do in your classroom or learning environment. Let's get started. Let me set the stage. Our 2024 Ed Talk series is entitled Flourishing in Open Access Education, which examines supporting students and colleagues in open access environments through the lens of positive psychology. Each story that we've told is based on the work of Martin Seligman's Flourish, a visionary new understanding of happiness and well-being, and has considered the relationship between well-being and the contemporary culture in open access or open enrollment higher education. Here to explore and extend our journey through supporting well-being and positive psychology is Dr. Ellen Beatty. Dr. Beatty is an educational leader, innovator, and consultant specializing in positive academic leadership, online teaching and learning, and neuroscience. As an assistant professor in the PhD in Education program at the University of Arizona Global Campus, she strategically supports doctoral learner success through research mentorship and an active research agenda. Dr. Beatty's research mingles cognitive and behavioral neuroscience, positive psychology, and evidence-based wellness practices. Dr. Beatty, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask now that we remove our videos and let Dr. Beatty get started. Ellen, the microphone is yours.
Thank you so much. The online learning environment has evolved rapidly in recent years, but with this evolution comes a growing recognition of the challenges facing today's students. College students across all disciplines are grappling with unprecedented levels of stress, anxiety, and mental health concerns. As educators, we know these struggles can directly impact student success, engagement, and overall well-being. Is there room for optimism? What if the nature of how we taught could alleviate these issues? What if online classrooms could be transformed into spaces that nurture not only intellectual growth, but also joy, creativity, and resilience? Both traditional and non-traditional college students experience significant stress that can negatively impact their academic performance and well-being. Academic stress is a significant factor, with education being the primary source of stress for 87% of college students surveyed by the American Psychological Association. This includes heavy course loads, financial pressures, and adapting to new academic standards. Studies have shown a clear link between academic success and poor mental health, which in turn affects academic performance. In fact, as many as 60% of college students meet the criteria for at least one mental health condition, with rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide at an all-time high. Alarmingly, many students report that mental health challenges are serious enough to consider dropping out of their program. So let's explore the challenges specific to online education. While the stressors of all college students are high, online students face additional unique challenges that compound their mental health and academic struggles. Isolation, a lack of motivation, and difficulty in managing cognitive load are prominent issues in online learning. Students in online courses often report feeling socially isolated, deprived of face-to-face interactions that help foster a sense of community. This isolation, coupled with the challenges of balancing academic work and personal life in a virtual setting, can lead to diminished motivation and engagement. Time management and workload management are particularly difficult in the online context, where students must independently navigate assignments, discussions, and exams, all without the structure of an in-person schedule. Compounding this, accessibility issues such as poor internet connectivity and limited access to technology can hinder students' ability to fully participate, only exacerbating the stress and anxiety. Researchers revealed that online students experience higher rates of chronic illness, mental health issues, and unhealthy behaviors compared to their on-campus counterparts. Studies like this highlight the need for tailored well-being approaches for online learners. To support online learners, institutions must consider targeted strategies, such as enhancing virtual communication to foster a sense of community and providing robust academic and mental health support, teaching students to manage cognitive load, and providing tools to foster motivation and engagement are critical for improving their learning experiences. Additionally, holistic approaches that include offering mental health services and encouraging stress-relieving activities such as engaging in hobbies, physical activity, or spiritual practices can help students navigate the demands of online learning. So how do we create a well-being focused culture in higher education? The statistics on mental health, the increasing violence on campuses, and the dissatisfaction with current mental health interventions highlight the need for a shift in how student well-being is addressed. Institutions can no longer view well-being in the peripheral. Instead, they must place it at the core of their educational mission, recognizing that a focus on well-being not only improves student outcomes, but also contributes to broader institutional and societal success. Students who are mentally and physically well demonstrate improved academic performance and are better equipped with the essential life skills such as resilience, conflict management, and emotional intelligence. These competencies enable students to engage meaningfully in their academic work and navigate personal and professional relationships effectively, leading to higher retention and graduation rates. Research consistently shows that emotionally healthy students are more likely to persist in their program and thrive beyond their academic years. The benefits of a well-being centered approach extend beyond students to faculty and staff. A positive academic culture fosters faculty engagement, reduces burnout, and enhances job satisfaction. Faculty members working in supportive environments are more likely to participate actively in academic discussions, contribute to community activities, and experience greater professional fulfillment. Additionally, a culture of well-being promotes diversity and inclusion, both of which are essential for retaining faculty and creating a harmonious work environment. A positive academic culture influences faculty collaboration, knowledge sharing, and institutional engagement, benefiting the entire academic community. And while creating a culture focused on well-being may seem like an elusive goal, there are proven frameworks to support this important work. Next slide, Jessie. Positive psychology, a subfield of psychology championed by Dr. Martin Seligman, moves beyond focusing on what's wrong to explore what makes life meaningful and fulfilling. Positive psychology is a scientific study of the factors that enable individuals and communities to thrive. The field is founded on the belief that people want to lead meaningful and fulfilling lives, to cultivate what is best in themselves, and to enhance their experiences of love, work, and play. So, what is human flourishing and what enables it? Dr. Martin Seligman's PERMA theory of well-being is an attempt to answer these fundamental questions of positive psychology. Next slide, Jessie. Martin Seligman's theory of well-being, introduced through his PERMA model, shifts psychology from merely treating mental illness to fostering human flourishing. Rather than solely focusing on deficits or malfunctions, the PERMA model emphasizes positive emotions and positive elements that can contribute to a positive, fulfilling life. Each of the model's 5 components represents a distinct pathway to well-being. First, positive emotions. Experiencing joy, gratitude, and hope, which are critical for sustaining psychological wellness and resiliency. Engagement. Immersion in activities that bring a sense of flow where individuals are fully absorbed in challenge, enhancing both personal satisfaction and productivity. Third, relationships, building strong supportive connections with others, as meaningful social connections are the foundation to a fulfilling life. Fourth, meaning, finding purpose in life by contributing to something larger than oneself, which brings a sense of belonging and significance. And finally, accomplishment, pursuing goals and achieving success, fostering a sense of pride and fulfillment. These components are interdependent and together form a holistic approach to well-being. They're applicable across various life domains, including education, work, and personal life. The flexibility and universality of the PERMA model allows individuals to pursue well-being in ways that align with their values and strengths, contributing to both personal and professional growth and resilience. So now let's look at how we can apply the PERMA model to online education. The following section is going to examine how each PERMA element can be applied to online education to enhance student well-being and academic performance. First, let's look at positive emotions. Positive emotions are the cornerstone of the PERMA model. The online learning environment is often characterized by isolation, and the use of positive emotions can enhance the online learning experience for both students and faculty. Researchers have identified that positive academic and achievement emotions, such as enjoyment or pride, generally have a really positive effect on motivation, performance, engagement, satisfaction, and achievement in online learning. Positive emotions are critical for managing stress, a common issue among online college students. Research has shown that positive emotions can replenish psychological resources, diminish negative emotions, and aid in the recovery from stressful events. Positive emotions are also linked to increased motivation and academic behaviors such as checking into class, participating in discussions, and staying on top of assignments. Given the self-directed nature of online learning, maintaining high levels of motivation is critical, and facilitating opportunities for students to experience joy and accomplishment can lead to sustained engagement. And finally, building resilience through positive emotions can help students navigate academic and personal obstacles. Research has found that adaptive coping strategies supported by positive emotions can reduce the impact of stress and contribute to improved academic outcomes. Online courses that integrate tools for emotional regulation and stress management can help students build resilience. Let's look at engagement. Seligman's PERMA framework includes engagement as a building block to human flourishing. His concept of engagement aligns well with fellow positive psychology researcher Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow. Flow is understood as the loss of consciousness and complete absorption in an activity. Researchers have found that in higher education, flow can be associated with reduced learner burnout, and cognitive flow is particularly mediated by the perceived effectiveness of online learning. Online learning environments can easily lead to distractions. Sustaining focus is a challenge. Researchers suggest that student interest in course material enhances engagement and concentration. And connecting course content to students' real-life goals and interests can foster deeper engagement and encourage students to remain focused. However, engagement goes far beyond merely capturing attention. To create fully immersive learning experiences, fostering a flow state is essential and can significantly enhance learning outcomes. Online instructors can promote flow by designing activities that strike a balance between challenge and skill. And finally, providing opportunities for students to engage in research or creative pursuits can deepen the learning and develop core essential skills. Encouraging inquiry-based activities supports problem solving, critical thinking, and independent research. Let's examine relationships next. Strong student-instructor relationships are the key to student satisfaction, engagement, and retention. These relationships involve knowing students, helping them meet their needs, and fostering a sense of community. Effective relationship-building strategies in online classrooms include sharing, demonstrating care, promoting collaboration, and providing constructive feedback. Additionally, relationships extend beyond the instructor-student interactions and can include peer relationships and connections with supportive services, all connecting to a sense of well-being and belonging in the online learning community. To combat feelings of isolation, instructors should focus on building positive connections and enhancing each interaction. This can be achieved by facilitating connections between course elements, linking conceptual learning to practical applications, connecting student cohorts, and utilizing synchronous tools for interactive atmospheres. And while the online learning community can feel isolating, fostering positive relationships can help students to feel supported by their peers and instructors, and are more likely to engage in courses and persist through challenges. Researchers recommend strategies such as building community through humanized courses and maintaining faculty availability to enhance social presence. Collaboration among students, both formally and informally, can provide much needed social support. Instructors can facilitate collaborative learning by encouraging teamwork and peer support. It is essential, especially when face-to-face interactions are limited. And finally, the communication and relationship building skills that students develop in online courses are transferable to other contexts, specifically professional networking. Providing opportunities for students to connect with peers and professionals in their field can enhance their future career prospects. Let's look at meaning. Selman's PERMA theory of well-being includes meaning as a core component of human flourishing. In the online environment, students can find meaning in their coursework, course activities, and assignments. But the literature supporting meaning in online learning environments is sparse. Researchers found that meaningful posts in online discussions predicted better learning outcomes for adult online students beyond just activity levels. And the concept of calling or finding purpose and meaning in work has been identified as potentially important for college students' career development and overall well-being. Students who understand the personal significance of their education are more likely to persist. Researchers note that when students can articulate how their academic work relates to their future goals, they remain more committed to learning. Online courses that connect content to students' long-term aspirations can enhance motivation and engagement. We can also create meaning in education when we tie things to the student's sense of belonging. Effective course design and facilitation can help students feel connected to their learning environment, fostering shared purpose and trust. Online educators can strive to create an inclusive, supportive environment where students feel they are connected to a part of something bigger than themselves. That brings us to the PERMA's last element of accomplishment. Online instructors can help students feel small wins by implementing various strategies to enhance engagement and rapport. Building rapport in a synchronous online course involves initiating connections and maintaining them through personalized instruction. Asynchronous online discussions or check-ins can be used as touch points throughout the course to connect with students, understand their circumstances, and provide the necessary support and encouragement. Setting and achieving academic goals is central to the building of confidence and motivation. In an online and learning environment, instructors can facilitate this process by encouraging students to set realistic and achievable goals, as well as providing tools for tracking their progress. Recognizing accomplishments, even small ones, can boost students' confidence and help them stay committed to their studies. Motivation increases as students see themselves making progress toward long-term goals. So online courses can incorporate tools like progress trackers, badges, and performance dashboards to help students monitor their achievements and stay motivated as they approach their academic objectives. Next slide, Jessie. Incorporating well-being into the core of higher education is not an option, but a necessity. The application of Selleman's PERMA framework to online education offers a promising roadmap for addressing the unique challenges faced by today's online learners. By focusing on the building blocks of well-being, positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment, educators can provide a more supportive, motivating, and encouraging online learning environment. The integration of these evidence-based strategies aims to enhance student resilience, academic performance, and overall well-being, fostering a holistic approach that goes beyond traditional measures of success. Institutional leaders who prioritize student and faculty well-being contribute to the creation of a socially responsible and equitable academic environment. By reducing stress and promoting social connections, leaders can create an academic culture that fosters inclusivity. Institutional leaders can take proactive steps to create supportive environments that promote resilience, reduce stress, and foster meaningful social connections for both faculty and students. Graduates from institutions that emphasize well-being are more likely to emerge as well-rounded, resilient contributors to the workforce and society. And by doing so, leaders can ensure that students, faculty, and the institution as a whole thrive in the evolving landscape of higher education. Thank you, Jessie.
Thanks, Ellen. Now I'm going to pass it over to Tay to introduce our faculty stories.
Thanks, Jessie. We love working, collaborating, and connecting with our associate faculty. They bring a wealth of knowledge and support to colleagues and students alike. We are fortunate to have many standout educators in the Department of Education and Liberal Arts who help drive our mission to empower, support, and educate. Now that we have the foundation of PERMA, let's hear from our faculty from various programs across the associate's, bachelor's, and master's levels on the well-being focused culture in their classrooms and life as a faculty member.
My name is Cindy Tarabush, and I am from New Jersey. I am an early childhood specialist, public speaker, wife, and proud mother of 2 adult children. I have been an associate faculty member for the Associate of Arts in Early Childhood Education at UAGC since 2019. I am also a subject matter expert for the Institute for Families at the School of Social Work at Rutgers University. I have contributed to my field as the author of the book Teach the Whole Preschooler: Strategies for Nurturing Developing Minds. I also had the opportunity to write for Maria Shriver's online report, A Woman's Nation on the Brink. I co-host the internationally popular podcast, How Preschool Teachers Do It. I am a sought-after professional development facilitator and keynote speaker nationwide. I am also involved in early childhood continuous quality improvement systems in multiple states and have even served as an expert witness in a court case related to child development. I have earned a Master of Science in Early Childhood Studies and several certifications in both higher education and early childhood education. For more information about me, you can visit my website, helpingkidsachieve.com. I have had a very unusual career path and am sometimes asked to speak about that rather than my area of expertise. I've been told that it inspires professionals to think outside of and in addition to working in an early childhood classroom. I started as a classroom teacher, though, and then I was an early childhood program director. Now I get to do all the sorts of work that you can read about on my website. I learned about the opening at UAGC from a colleague. She was already an associate faculty member and thought I would enjoy the work while being an asset to the institution. She has worked with me in other settings that included non-traditional students, and she invited me to participate in a panel discussion about early childhood education career paths at the National Association for the Education of Young Children annual conference. It was during that conference that she mentioned to me that there was an opening at UAGC that she thought I might be interested in. I was excited about the opportunity because I myself have been an online student. I earned my Master of Science degree online while being a parent and someone who worked full-time in an early childhood program. I stay at UAGC because I value higher education and those who seek it. As I mentioned, I earned my master's as an online student. Working at UAGC allows me to give back and to support other people trying to add to their knowledge while juggling so many competing priorities. I fully appreciate the ways in which UAGC tries to support students' desire to reach further in their careers while maintaining academic rigor and the integrity of the degrees that are offered. I also believe that people who work with young children must be educated in child development and in today's understanding of what are high-quality practices in the world of early childhood education. UAGC gives people a pathway to obtain that education. I support associate degree students' well-being by being understanding and compassionate. Our students have many competing priorities and face many obstacles. I can be an obstacle or I can help move some of those obstacles out of the way. I inform students that if they communicate with me, we can extend the majority of due dates. The only due date that I don't extend are the responses to peers because they're intended to extend conversation within the learning week. If people post there after the week has ended, nobody's looking. If students let me know that they're in a challenging situation, I remind them to prioritize those responses so they get those points. Everything else has wiggle room in my courses. I reach out to all students periodically through the course inbox and using Signals. I send Signals emails to students who are high achievers, as well as students who may need extra support. Everyone needs to feel seen and heard and know that they're valued. I have met with students on Zoom if we feel that would be beneficial. I work to meet students where they are because I so appreciated when instructors did that for me. I maintain academic rigor while supporting student well-being. I can extend due dates, and I carefully use rubrics to grade appropriately. Students still need to meet the expectations of the rubrics, regardless of when they may submit the work to me. I send a welcome and expectations video to students before the class begins to let them know I'm here to support them, and at the same time, I have expectations for them and their work. I offer substantive feedback so students who are pursuing associate degrees can learn and grow as students as well as professionals. In discussion forums, I post replies that extend their thinking and learning. I let students know that if they reply to me, I will count that toward their response requirement. That enables me to scaffold their understandings. Many students do take me up on that. I have fully appreciated UAGC's One Faculty initiative. We all do better when everyone feels cared for and included. I am invited to town hall meetings, roundtables, and professional development alongside my full-time colleagues. I attend whenever my work schedule allows me to do so. That helps me to feel informed and like my presence at UAGC matters. I have also been involved in and invited to participate in work groups. I participated in the faculty reflection work group. I was invited to write for the Chronicle, and I did that, and to work on opportunities like this one to speak to all of you. Personal invitations to participate help an associate faculty member like me feel like I belong and I am seen among the crowd. A culture of care must be applied to everyone, students and faculty alike. I appreciate that I can reach out to full-time faculty members for support, and they respond quickly with assistance, ideas, and kudos for what's being done well. Faculty and students need to be acknowledged for the good that they do and offered respectful, constructive ways to learn and grow. We all have room for learning and growth. I believe that UAGC is always seeking to expand the culture of care while acknowledging that it is a process that does not end. Everyone needs to know that there are safety nets in place for when they struggle and when life presents obstacles. Another component in creating an environment in which everyone can flourish is ensuring that all communications are not only transactional. There needs to be opportunities for people to grow and connect, to learn about each other as human beings, kind of like this one at this conference.
Thank you, Cindy. Now let's hear from Michelle Schwab.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Schwab, and I am originally from South Dakota, but I've been living in Arizona for 41 years. I'm married and I have 2 children and 1 amazing grandchild. As you can see on the wall behind me, that's all him. So I got married at a very young age and I started my family right away. I didn't go to college until my youngest started kindergarten. So it was a very slow process for me. I had 2 kids at home, I worked full time, and I did my classes at night. So as you can tell with probably a lot of you, that's really hard to do. I did earn my bachelor's degree eventually, and then a few years later, I went back and got my master's degree. So having said that, I think I would describe myself as someone who is very motivated, but I'm also caring, understanding, family-oriented. And when I'm not teaching, I love to spend time with family and friends. I like to start each day with a run, and I love to be outside hiking, barbecuing with family, and game nights are fun too. One thing I really do want people to know about me, though, is that I'm an educator at heart, meaning I love teaching, I love supporting teachers, and helping them reach their goals. Because as a teacher, your goals are to do well for your students. And so if you're a good, hardworking teacher, you're going to be working to make sure your kids are successful. I taught elementary school for 23 years, and I loved every minute of it. But my true passion is working with future teachers and preparing them to be the best teachers they can be for their students. So while working in the elementary school, though, with every elementary school teacher I worked with, I learned through all our conversations how critical it is to implement the very best strategies. You know, kids, they're all different. They all work at different levels and they all learn in different ways. So we need to be effective. And the only way we're effective is if us here at the UAGC make sure you know all those effective strategies. So I first started working with adult learners, future teachers, at Ashford University back in 2012. I was pretty happy at Ashford, but then I learned that the online classes were moving to the U of A. I was so excited. I knew this was going to be such a good thing. So yeah, I'm very, very proud to say, and I tell everybody, that I'm an associate faculty member in the College of Education at the University of Arizona. So guys, it's important to me that my students here at UAGC are prepared for being a future teacher and have all those great strategies in their tool belt. So some things I do to support students' well-being in my classes, I listen. That's number 1 for me. I'm compassionate for their needs and I'm flexible and supportive. I want them to feel supported like in the moment. So I share my cell phone number with them because I remember back when I was a student and I was working at home on homework at home and I had a question, I had no one to ask. My students, they do. They can call me or they can text me and they can ask me anything at any time. I'll also work with them by phone to help them juggle the work, the family, and school demands that they have in their personal life. They need to get their schoolwork done. They can't do it without a schedule, so I'm here to help. I remember being in their shoes. Gosh, it seems like yesterday, but for me, I had my husband who was my biggest support. So I encourage them to reach out to family or a close friend or just anyone, their neighbor, someone they're close to, because we all need someone in our corner during those stressful times. I have a quick story about how being positive with a student can help with their well-being. So I'll make it quick, but a few months ago in one of my classes, I had a student who was doing great. The first 2 weeks, she was on time with everything. She dove into those discussion questions. She responded to all her classmates. She got her coursework done on time. Week 3, she was gone. She was not attending at all. No discussions, no work was turned in. I knew something was up. So I sent her an email. I'm like, hey, everything okay? Can I help you? What's going on? She emailed me back and she just said, well, my daughter's been in the hospital in and out for the last week, and now she's in and I'm here with her. But she included in her email to me, I sent my adult son home to pick up my laptop and bring it to the hospital so I can be working on my coursework. My reply to her was, call me. So she did. She called me a little while later and I said, do not work on your coursework in the hospital. Your daughter's your priority. Put all your energy into helping her get well, and text me or call me when you get her home. So she did. We talked for a while on the phone. We made a plan. She got all her work done on time before the end of the class anyway, and she did great. So it's so important for me to just support my students in any way. We have to remember that they are real people. And that's a key component to help us as faculty flourish as well, is we're online with our students and we need them to understand that we are real people too. So for me, it's important to share my personal stories with my students, share pictures of me and my family with my students. I also make recordings of myself and I post them in class. And I'll do a recording of explaining to students the assignment directions, or I'll wrap up a discussion at the end of the week, or I'll provide maybe some extra resources or some assignment tips. They see me on video, they know I'm real. I encourage them, like I said, to reach out to me by phone, call me, text me, I'm here. So I feel that all that positive interaction is good for students and for us as faculty members, because then we see each other as real people. I know all of U of A staff members work hard at incorporating positive psychology in their teaching. I think it's important for all of us to remember that our students are real people with real lives and real problems. They're here to reach their goals, and they're serious about getting those goals done. When they have a problem, we need to help them by being flexible and understanding. I know we all strive for this on a daily basis. I love working for the U of A. Everyone here has been so warm, helpful, supportive. They make me feel like family. I enjoy all the opportunities that our faculty have here to join in and share. We have Zoom meetings that we can attend and we can discuss anything and everything. It truly, truly makes me feel like my opinion and my knowledge is valued. That's why I stay here, because I love our students. And I also know that everyone here is a true professional. We all care about students and their success. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Now let's look to the story of Dr. Angela C.
I'm Dr. Angela C., Associate Faculty in Department of Educational Studies. I want to share some information with you about what we do, or what I do as an educator, and I consider myself a lifelong learner. I wanted to become an educator so that I can help individuals achieve their goals, and they too want to become educators, to educate others, to uplift, educate, and elevate. And that's what I do. I lead by example. I let people know that they can be successful and they will be successful, and they have everything that they need. They have to believe in themselves, and I let them know that I believe in them. As bachelor students, they need that support. They are multitasking most of the time. Some of the students are caregivers, they work multiple jobs, and they are working to earn a degree to make a better life for themselves and their families. So instead of a hand out, they need a hand up. So we provide the support and assistance that we believe that that is needed for them to do so. We keep them encouraged. We provide information to them and for them in every area, whether it's academia and self-care. And the weekly announcements, weekly emails, sometimes emails go out 2 or 3 times a week to remind them that they should take care of themselves. And I provide my phone number for them to text me or call me if they have questions and or need assistance. We want to ensure that they know that we are there to provide everything that they need. We require rigor. We expect them to meet all requirements of all assignments, discussion posts, and everything. And if by chance they do not, we reach out to them via email and or text to say, I noticed that I did not read your post. If you need any assistance or if you have questions about something, please reach out to me. I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon so that they will know I still expect them to get the assignments done and get them done correctly and meet all of the requirements. I remind them during those emails and announcements how important it is for self-care. I include information as relates to the 8 dimensions of wellness because you can't have one without the other. And just as they are trying to earn their bachelor's degrees to make a better life for themselves and their families, they also have other people who are depending on them. And I lead by example. I schedule time for self-care and I let them know that it is guarded time, that I meditate. If I need pampering or whatever the case may be, I have time allocated, just like we schedule time to do everything else. To complete our task, we include how to take time for self-care because it is important. And I came to education so that I could be the vessel, be the example that I want to see in others. Because if we elevate and educate our people, lead by example, then it will have the domino effect of our students doing the same thing. When they're in the classroom, they will elevate and educate, and then the cycle will continue. And our communities will be vital, and things that we need to do to take care of our education system and educate, we will be able to do that as we collaborate and work together. I have students to reach out to me on a consistent basis, and I ask them to, and I keep the line of communication open even after the course is over so that they will know I support them to the end of the finish line is what I tell them, because I inspect what I expect and I expect them to do well, and I communicate that with them and encourage them to let them know and remind them that they will do well, because we provide all of the resources, tools, and assistance that they will need. And I have had students to reach back out to me after they have completed 2 other courses to say thank you for being supportive and continuing to provide that support, to remind me to take care of myself, to that self-care is not selfish, and have that guarded time for well-being, because earning a bachelor's degree is a lot of work and it's really not easy, especially when you have family life, you are a caregiver and you may work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet for your family. So I continue to encourage them. I continue to send emails to keep them uplifted and encourage motivational notes and quotes that they can continue to strive and do well as they complete their journey or continue the journey toward their earning their bachelor's degree. Self-care is important. I've had students who have wanted to give up because they've experienced extenuating circumstances and difficulties working 2 jobs, being a caregiver for elderly family members and taking care of their immediate family. And I have continued to reach out to them via text and email to say, you can do this. You have what it takes to persevere, to continue to work hard. Do not give up on you. Do not give up on your dreams. And students have actually reached back out to me to say thank you again for being that light, being the example that you want to see. And they have given me their word that they will pay it forward. And I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Now we'll hear from Dr. Kathy Hoover.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Hoover. I loved school when I was growing up, what I loved in particular was my caring and compassionate teachers. Of course, my favorite role play was school. To that end, I made school my career. I myself was an adult student. I received my undergraduate degree in elementary education at 32 and went to work right away as a first grade teacher. 3 years later, I began a master's degree program in curriculum and instruction in a very new venue called distance education. 12 years later, and after moving to language arts and reading exclusively at the middle school level, always the eternal student, I obtained an education doctorate at the age of 51. My program in curriculum and instruction with a specialization in diversity studies had an enormous impact on my life. After that, I moved into curriculum coaching at a high school, but it was time for me to explore the world of teaching educators at a local university in my area, which as a result brought me to Ashford University as associate faculty. I recently retired from my full-time position, but continue to teach my university students here at UAGC in that online venue where I experienced the evolution of online learning firsthand, making open access education feasible and practical with so much opportunity for all. My desire to be like those caring and compassionate teachers back in the day to this day allows me to carry out that culture of care mission so conducive to these ideals. For me, it brings forth my firm belief in mastery theory because we all learn in many different ways. To carry this out, instructor presence is vital. Students often feel like they are all alone out there. As a result, I connect with students on a daily basis. Even on the weekends, sorry. This might sound daunting, but taking advantage of the technology myself has made this a breeze. A typical setting for me would be grading papers at my laptop. However, I use my phone a lot, and so do our students, not only for texting with them, but responding to UAGC email and even checking on students through the Canvas app. I know my students are busy adults with jobs and families of their own, and when they sit down to do their work, I want to be available to answer their questions as quickly as I can so they can take full advantage of their work time. I am that annoying woman in the checkout line on her phone. Posting announcements that relay expectations for high quality work is important. It sets up a successful learning week. I explain discussions and assignments up front through video, offering templates and examples. I let them know potential pitfalls and misunderstandings. Each time I teach a course, my students teach me how to make that course better. I offer extensive as well as timely feedback. I offer extra time when students need it and allow resubmissions on all discussions and assignments. Of course, they need it back quickly to provide that buffer that keeps them from feeling overwhelmed or behind. Writing is often an area where my students struggle, so I make students aware of writing resources at UAGC, such as the Writing Center, but also outside sources such as the OWL at Purdue and Grammarly. I offer a lot of APA feedback also because I want my students to see themselves as scholars. I have written many a doctoral program recommendation. However, in my explanations, I also let them know how content can be applied right away in their own educator setting, upping the ante for their own students' learning. When my students are successful, their students are successful, and we have come full circle. Teaching teachers is the best. These tools are important to sustain that instructor presence. When students know you are accessible, they are more apt to do their best and they learn more. I had a student on the west coast of Florida when Hurricane Milton blew through a few weeks ago, and we texted back and forth during the storm. I offered my home, which is further inland, if she needed an escape. She is safe, and what I've offered through Culture of Care will allow her to be successful not only in my class, but likely in her program. What makes UAGC also special as well, is it's a great place to be because they know that I'm a learner too. The Culture of Care policies also work for me. I had a supervisor reach out to me as well right before the hurricane. Not only that, but care and attention to our growth is offered through contemporary professional development, in addition to the Chronicle, Faculty Affairs, the Faculty Portal, and email updates about goings-on. I have attended many a roundtable discussion and forums with high-ranking officials, and it made it feel like they were just right across the hall. Finally, UAGC is the epitome of open access education, which leads us to a better world. Because if we can all access, we can all learn. We are all smarter together. Education makes life better. I'm an integral part of making that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, and let's hear it for all of our speakers. I'm going to pass the microphone now to Dr. Jackie Geiger.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. Each year, we have picked at least one topic that was important to us as educators to rally behind in the way of better understanding of our students and supporting them in their educational goals. We found that in the formative years of what now has been established as a Culture of Care initiative here at the university, we found by telling stories, making it personal, we played a small role in seeding the way for what is today our Culture of Care community. Our Culture of Care community here at the university. Go Wildcats. Go all Wildcats. The book of 2024 was Flourish by Martin Seligman around his life's work in positive psychology. And we had the privilege this past year to hear stories based on this topic from Ellen Beatty as today's keynote. And we started this back in January with her story on well-being and open access in higher education. And then Debbie Carpenter, Creating a Bliss Blueprint. Kara Metz, Drugs and Therapy Unveiled. Jesse Upshaw, Proactive Well-Being for Our Youth. Yolanda Harper, The Grit Intelligence Paradigm. Kimberly Luke's very timely Joy Economy, Politics Revisited. And I had the privilege to share Beyond Strength, Military Well-Being. That book has proved to be our bookend for a decade of choosing topics that were important to us when sharing those important topics as stories from us. So here in my office, to the right side of my bookcase sits Seligman's book on positive psychology, our bookend. And way to the left side, the beginning book, where all of this started, rests the book by Becker, Crodel, and Tucker, Understanding and Engaging Under-Resourced College Students, a bookend. In between those two bookends, those books, rests a decade of topics that we have shared in the way of building relationships, the mental cognitive, integrating integrity and trust, emotional intelligence, empathy, mindset, Covey's 7 Habits, Lopez, No Excuses University, and Miller's Growing Seeds. I cannot quote the legendary father of talk radio, Paul Harvey, in saying, "And now you know the rest of the story." But I can say, with a great degree of confidence, and now you know our stories. On behalf of Ellen, Debbie, Kara, Jesse, Yolanda, Kimberly, and myself, thank you. Jesse, as we move forward with the discussions and Q&A, I proudly and humbly pass the microphone back to you.
Thanks, Jackie. And our time is winding down, but we would love to hear from you, those that are here. We've posed a few questions on the screen, but if you have reactions, anything you'd like to say, several of our associate faculty presenters are here in the audience today and ready to respond if you have any questions directly for them in chat. But just think about, what are you doing next? What are you currently doing? And how can we continue to build that concept of belonging and support for students in well-being in the classroom? Seeing a lot of kudos for our 4 presenters and for Ellen's work here in the beginning. Thank you again to our amazing faculty for sharing your stories of how you're making the classroom a safe and a place of well-being for our students and for each other. Lots and lots of gratitude here. Well, knowing that we have a few TLC announcements to come at the end and not seeing any pressing questions in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and move forward to remind everyone that we do have a link to our Ed Talks homepage and a place where you can download our series recordings over the years, as well as receive a certificate for participation for today's Ed Talk at TLC. You can use the QR code on your screen, or I also just put that link in the chat. There's also been a survey posted in the chat. Please do use that survey link that I know Heather will talk about here in just a second. Before we let you go, I just want to give an amazing thank you to the UAGC Department of Education and Liberal Arts Professional Development Committee. I'd like to thank our presenters today, Cindy Tarabush, Michelle Schwab, Dr. Angela C., and Dr. Kathy Hoover, and of course, Dr. Ellen Beatty for that keynote to set the stage for well-being in PERMA. And I would like to express my gratitude to the members of the Ed Talks at TLC team, especially our lead, Dr. Ashante Aller. On behalf of our Assistant Dean to Dr. Denise Maxwell, we thank you so much for your support over these last 10 years of Ed Talks. Please enjoy the rest of TLC and be well.
Thank you, Ed Talks team, and thank you to the audience for your participation in today's session. Please use the survey linked in the chat to nominate TLC presentations for conference awards and share your feedback on your conference experience.